Reality television is one of the things you guys talked about, and you mentioned it on part two, about how, well, your wife did, about how it can really just destroy your marriage.
Yeah, well, I don't see any that that have did well for it. I don't see no examples, not from Beverly Hills to the OC to Jersey to New York, Miami when it was on, DC when it was on, now Potomac. I don't see any relationship on any of those shows outside of probably Lisa Vanderpump and her husband in Beverly Hills that it actually worked for, you know, and they probably had their situation cemented 20, 30 years before they walked on that program.
Now, I think it's time at this point to kind of really set these blogs straight.
Yeah.
Everybody is saying this about your marriage and that, and honestly, I don't want to see anybody break up, ever. But the truth should come from you. Where is your marriage?
My marriage is definitely in a place where I don't need it to be. Cynthia and I are the only couple that actually got married on the show.
Right.
You know, people had spin-off weddings.
Yes, that's
we
true.
got married on the show our first season, and it was rough. First season, we was brutally honest the first season. You know, I was broke the first season. I just lost everything in my Uptown project. You know, $700,000 of my money went south during the recession. You know, so we had to, we had to build our way back. And you know, being, I think our marriage episode was like the largest viewing episode in the history of Bravo Channel. 20 million people watching in 1 week. And from that day on, it's like we never had time. People don't realize that we shoot the show for 6 months. We do press for another 3 to 4 months. And then the other 2 months that you're supposed to be off, you're getting ready to, the mindset to come back. You know what I'm saying? You got to have your content together. You got to, you know, if you have your hustle together, you got to have your things in place, you know, to come back. You can't be on a platform like this and then, you know, 5, 6 years later, you're not on it anymore, and then you don't have nothing to show for it. We don't want to be that couple. So our hustle was constant all the time. Right. You know, so we never even had to take a vacation together as a married couple.
It was always on the show.
Yeah, it's always on the show.
Yeah.
And when people think that when they see us in Mexico or they see us Jamaica or wherever, they think that, oh, you're all on vacation. No, we're not on vacation. We're working 18-hour days, you know, to shoot. They might show 3 minutes of a 10-hour shoot, but you working 18 hours a day. Yeah. So there's no time to get your swerve on and all of that. So we never really get to spend time together. And you know, after 5, 6 seasons on the show, you know, we're just not there with each other. You know, and everyone telling me, well, you know, you're going through the 5-year thing. You know, my wife might be going through that 5-year thing, but like I always said, you know, when I said I do in front of God and family, I meant it. You know what I'm saying? And if she want a break, then she can have the break, because you can't make anyone be with you.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you think that's what she wants?
I don't know what she wants. Sometimes it's very difficult for me to read her. I know what she don't want. She don't want every time she go outside, someone is saying Peter's doing this and Peter's doing that. It's very difficult because I know I get it on my side of the fence.
And I'm sure you do. And I mean, I can honestly say, you know, I've been around you quite a few times. And every time that I've been around you, me personally, I've never seen you act inappropriate.
Well, you know what it is? I don't know what they deem to be that, okay? That video clip that turned into 7 episodes this season was me checking somebody. But when you slow it down and you manipulate it, then it looks like something else. Yeah. That young lady was actually getting checked for, I was at my friend's club, SIP. And SIP is a white venue. And I was hanging out with the owner and several of his staff and friends, and everybody's white. And then she's saying something to me, because she's one of my customers, like, man, you're acting different when you're around those folks. And I'm like, when I went up to her and grabbed, because I knew her, I'm like, yo, you need to chill with that. Be respectful. You know what I'm saying? But of course, when you see it for like 10 seconds and they slow it down, it looks completely like something else.
And people are going to blow those things out of proportion.
That's what they want, though. You know, that's what makes the show work, you know. The show don't work because of beautiful stuff. The show worked because of ugliness. You know what I'm saying? This, if I type something very godly on my IG, I'll probably get like 300 likes. If I type some ratchet stuff, I'll get 3,000 likes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it basically tell you what people want. You know what I'm saying? I'm too old for all the stuff that they're talking about, to be honest with you. And not only that, you know what I'm saying? Me being at Sports One, you know, as often as I am, and 70% of the audience that walk through the door are women.
And they're viewers of the show.
And viewers of the show, and everybody's looking for something constantly. Yeah. There's nothing to find when it comes to me because I pretty much keep myself to myself, and I roll by myself all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't get into those type of trouble. I don't believe that I will ever do anything to embarrass my wife. You know?
Now, do you think that quitting the show is that step in the right direction towards saving your marriage?
Well, I mean, here we go again. Bravo is just, you know, they have this housewife franchise, and it's major. It's $1 billion
I believe
brand. You know what I'm saying? With all the different housewife cities, states, whatever. You know, and we happens to be the #1 show on the whole network. That means every Sunday, last night, I'm quite sure by first, second, and third run, 6 million people watching. You know what I'm saying? And the next thing for them, if they think that Cynthia and I relationship we are apart right now, is for them to dig. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I got kids. You know, I got a daughter that just got married. That's 32 years old. My youngest is 12, and I don't want them to see the deterioration of our wedding, of our union, on television. I have no interest in shooting that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why?
To relive it.
Why? That, you know, if I was in love with this woman or loved this woman the way I do, then it wouldn't matter to me. But for the fact that I do, I have no interest in bringing them in the house for them to show us arguing. And maybe some want to see it, but I don't want to see that. So I'm not interested in going back, because at this stage of the game, being on it for 6 years, what else are they going to do? Well, you know, like, I remember when Nene and Greg got into it, and she said what she said to him, and the last footage was him walking down the step and she's walking up the step, and then they were apart for over 2 years before they got back together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We watch her date other people. I don't have no interest in doing that. Me and my wife are not together, man. I just check out. You know what I'm saying? I have no interest in watching the next episode. None.
Do you now? A lot of people say, and kind of playing devil's advocate a little. If that happens, well, which it does happen as far as you quitting the show, the storyline could leave. Do you feel as though your wife would leave the show? And if she does, would that put you guys on track to getting into a better space? Because it's obvious that this show has been a downfall for the two of you. I mean, that's obvious.
Well, I mean, you know, it's easy for me to say I'll walk away for the fact that when they cut the checks at Bravo for $1 million, my name is not on it. You know what I'm saying? The check is cut to Cynthia Bailey, not to Peter Thomas. You know what I'm saying? And it would be unfair for me to say, hey, you need to walk away. She got to want to walk away. You know what I'm saying? I know why I'm walking away, but she has to want to walk away. And if we're not going to be together, it's not easy to go out and get a check for $1.5 million. So if she could navigate on that show and keep that check, go ahead and keep it, baby. You know what I'm saying? I just know that I'm not going to do it anymore.